Welcome to Liquidity Weekly Map. So in this briefing, we'll be defining the key liquidity levels and then the market structure for our selected pairs, which Nasdaq is one of them. Whereby using our weekly dealing range framework, remember the objective of this channel is not for price prediction, but we identify where liquidity sits and where price is likely to deliver on those levels. So as always, we will start with our weekly dealing range. As you can see, we always start with the Nasdaq. Our dealing range before now has been this level on the Nasdaq, which Nasdaq has taken out the external range liquidity within this dealing range, the highs of this range. And if we move on Nasdaq to the monthly, we can actually see there is no historical price to help us in this analysis on Nasdaq on the upside word that the market has been moving in this month. So what do we do when we don't really have anything to help us on our analysis? Because it's a purely price action narrative. So we are going to call in something. We're going to call in our dollar index to see what dollar is doing. And that will help us to analyze our Nasdaq, which is the USTEC. So moving to the dollar index, this is the dollar index, which still has prices or historical price actions that will guide us on this analysis. So using our monthly dollar index, we can see where price has been. This is the weekly. Our daily range on the dollar index will be using the highs on those daily range, the highs being the 100, which is this level, and the lows being the 90, the 96 levels. So the question is, where was price coming from and what is price doing at this moment? If we move to the monthly time frame, it will guide us to know where what price was coming from on the monthly time frame of dollar index. We can apparently see that price took out this liquidity and price has been going up in a while, and then price returned back as at April and tapped into the fair value gap of the monthly, which we have already mapped out at this level. So that has helped us to identify where price is currently. So we move back to our weekly time frame and the daily range which we have been dealing with. This is price action on that fair value gap on the monthly time frame. As we can see, price respecting this gap, which is also a gap in the weekly time frame. So within this range on the dollar index, we can say that price is at the discount level here after filling this. So what would price likely to be drawn to or deliver into? Price is likely using this weekly dealing range to move up and deliver into this fair value gap of the weekly before it can get to this other block of the weekly. But like I always said, we are not predicting price. We are just mapping out liquidity, trying to show you where price is likely to deliver into using our liquidity options. So if we drop on the daily time frame as price tapped into that monthly fair value gap, weekly gap also, this is where price is. As at last week, price moved up, then closed on Friday on a bearish scenario. So what is price likely to do? Price is likely to be drawn into this daily order block, but then where is price likely to deliver to? Price is likely to deliver to the upside to fill this weekly fair value gap and then all this gap that the price has created on the daily time frame before maybe reaching to this order block before any other thing on the upside. So as we've identified, price is likely to deliver to the upside on the dollar index. If price is likely to deliver to the upside on the dollar index, what does that mean for the Nasdaq? Meaning that Nasdaq is likely to deliver to the downside of the market. So that has given us a clue whereby we don't have a historical price action on dollar index. We are looking for a buy for dollar index. That means we are looking for a sell on Nasdaq. This is the narrative on that particular US dollar index. So moving down to our Nasdaq, which you can see, like I said, we don't have any historical price action to guide us on this level, starting even from the monthly, and then price has taken out this monthly highs. It has cleared off this high, and this is where price is at the monthly. Where was price coming from? Sorry about that. Where was price coming from on this particular area? We can see where price was coming from. So if we drop on the weekly time frame, price took out a previous week lows and then started to go up, created this gap, and then has taken the most recent high or the utmost high on the weekly time frame and also on the monthly time frame. Like we have said, we want to see price rebalancing itself in those, it has created a more efficiency buy side, but inefficiency on the sell side. So we want to see price rebalancing itself on this level. Where it will get to, we'll not be able to say because we're not predicting price, but we want to see price retracing back at some point in those areas to balance or rebalance this inefficiency, this sell side inefficiency that has been created. That is what we are looking out to on Nasdaq. So what we have to do is to watch as the market resume the Sunday and then see what price action is going to give us to take a trade. Your duty is to wait, watch the price, and study what price action is going to do. So moving on to our next pair, which is Euro USD. This is our Euro USD also. Okay, apparently I have to define all these lines. Whenever you see these dotted yellow lines, that means a weekly external range. We use it for a weekly external range, whereby when you see the one without dots, the solid line, that's mainly on the daily time frame external range and is yellow, while the blue defines our order block for both daily, weekly, and the monthly. The solid blue is for daily order blocks. The dotted blues is for weekly order block. Then the light dotted one is monthly order block. Those are the color we use to define in order to know exactly what we are doing. So that having been said, our daily range for British pound USD, we are using this high, which is the most recent high before all these other ones. We are looking at this level, which is the 37,340 levels as the highs, while the low remained the 31,59 levels as the low. This is our daily range. Where was price coming from? Where is price at this moment? And what is price likely to do? So on our daily range, we can see that price was coming from the fair value gap on the weekly time frame. As at the last 2 weeks, price ran into this fair value gap. We respected the fair value gap. We are apparently, as at this week that just passed, expecting price to drop into this fair value gap, which price was unable to reach before the market. We can see what market did. So what is our narrative? Remember, it's not prediction of price, just narrating where price are likely to deliver into within our daily range. So using our daily range, we can see what price has done. It filled this fair value gap, dropped in, but never respected any stuff. Price was just there. If we drop to the daily time frame, this is what we have on the daily time frame. After price filled those fair value gap, price dropped a little bit within the week and created a bullish move as at Friday, but never got to the area we're expecting price to be delivered into. Will price run into this level in this coming week? That's left for the market to know. But what are we looking at? What are the areas we want to see price action reacting to? If price is likely actually to deliver into this weekly fair value gap, running out this low on the daily time frame, but want to see price apparently maybe as market resume to continue a little bit up to this level. What lies on this level? If we drop on a lower time frame, we can apparently see maybe is the previous week high, the most recent high, and then price running into days and maybe respecting a gap which we can see on the daily on 1 hourly time frame. Sorry, so Let's draw it in time, maybe price running out this, respecting this before apparently going down to respect the level we've mapped below, taking out maybe this lows. This is the major thing price might likely be seeking, taking out this lows on the daily time frame. All right, we change the color to yellow, solid yellow, then change it to solid yellow because it's on the daily time frame. This is the first call of action. We want to see price maybe after respecting those levels up to come down to this chronic liquidity on the daily time frame before apparently seeking to this weekly level fair value gap. So those are the areas that we want to see price run into, react into, where price is likely to deliver into, taking out the lows on the daily time frame and then get into this weekly fair value gap if price continue to go down, which we expect price apparently to respect or rebalance itself because it has already created the buy side efficiency, buy side efficiency and sell side inefficiency. So we want to see price rebalancing itself before it continues to go up. But whereby price continue to go up without respecting those areas, watch out this mapped out level as price reacts to this level because they are also key level where um where institutional traders are looking at price to react to. But we want to see price deliver into this level that we mapped out. That is what we are expecting and looking out for this week in British pound USD if price continue to move as intended, unless price will consolidate as the month is ending this week. So watch this level and see what price is going to do in this level for you to take your trade. Remember, you don't just jump into the trade. We allow the market to open and then between the Sunday and the Monday to give us a clue on which side of the market price is likely to move and delivered into. Watch these levels. Then the next pair we're going to be looking at on our leaks will be the Euro USD. So we move to the Euro USD also. If we start from the monthly time frame because the month is ending, so we are looking at the monthly time frame to see exactly what price is doing. So the question is, where was price coming from? We can see price respecting this monthly order block. Yes, the month has not ended. Will price continue to respect this order block or will it continue to go up? That is for the price or the market to decide. But we are saying it at this moment, as at last week, price was respecting this monthly order block. So dropping to our weekly, we are looking at our weekly dealing range. So where is our weekly dealing range? We are watching this high, which is the 1928 levels as the high of the daily range, and then the low of the daily range, which is the 1413 level. Where was price coming from in this daily range, or where is price? We can also see price respecting the order block on the weekly time frame within our daily range as at last 2 weeks. Price ran into those order block respecting it. So price was apparently coming from the premier zone within our daily range. Well, as at last week, we expecting price to run into this fair value gap to kind of rebalance itself. We can see price dropped as at last week on Euro USD, but never tapped into the gap. What does that mean? It never tapped into the gap, as we can see. So what our expectation this week? Will price continue to go up or will price tapped into this gap that we've created? We drop on our daily time frame, watching what price has done. So as we can see, price ran out the external range liquidity of the daily time frame. That's this high. Price dropped in but never ran into the fair value gap of the weekly that we've mapped out. You can also see price created buy side efficiency and has been trying to rebalance itself in the sell side level. So what our expectation? What is the likelihood where price would deliver this week? Okay, we are looking at price to deliver into this zone, rebalancing itself into this gap. It might happen, it might get down if it wants to, but we want to see price rebalancing itself in those areas that we've mapped out. So we put our eyes on this area to see what price action that we are going to be seeing in this level. But then as the market resume, we want to keep our eyes on this level that we mapped out using our lower time frame charts. So we can see as the market resume, the market might run up to take out this previous week high a little bit higher before going down. But if price decided to go down, keep your eyes on this level. So we watch this level and see what price action will be. As the market resume, our eyes is to see what market will do on the upside before running to this level. If the market continue to run to the downside, then keep your eyes on this level that we mapped out this gap before it can get to this other block. Using our daily time frame, we can see price running out this low. Let's map out that low. So the first point of interest level, key level, will be this daily lows, price running at liquidity and tapping into this weekly fair value gap before moving down to this level and filling, respecting this also other block on the weekly time frame. So these are the areas we are expecting price to react to and run into. That's our narrative this week. Remember, we are looking at the pairs, the Euro USD, the British Pound, JPY, the Nasdaq, but using our guide for Nasdaq, using the dollar index as our guide for Nasdaq, as we don't have much information on Nasdaq. Remember, do not trade more than you can bear, but we wish you all the best. This is Liquidity Narrative, and it's always structure over speculation. Have a lovely week of trading. Thank you.